Hi, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and I got a couple really interesting topics for you today. First of all, Q4 2018 XRP markets report released by Ripple. I love this. I look forward to this report every single quarter. It's basically what is the state of XRP, the XRP ledger as it pertains to price and volatility, and they get into some other stuff too, but I absolutely love this report. And then I'm also going to cover a misunderstanding about market capitalization, and I'll explain why a little bit later on in the video, but people just don't understand it, and it affects XRP and how people perceive XRP within the crypto asset class, frankly. And I want to say real quick, though, if you would be willing to hit that thumbs up, hit the like on this video, I definitely, really appreciate it, and if you'd be willing to subscribe. And actually, I started poking around after I submitted my video yesterday, and this is just kind of neat to me as a new YouTuber. I hadn't really futzed around with this, but there's all sorts of analytics and stuff you can get into, and I won't bore you with all the details. But one that I found interesting is that I could tell, because YouTube gives you the data, that I guess it's under 1/3 of the people that are viewing my videos are actually subscribing right now. I can't remember what the percentage is, but it's not many. So just want to say, if you would be willing to hit subscribe, I definitely really genuinely appreciate it. With that said, now let's get into the content of the video. So again, Q4 2018 XRP markets report. Gonna link to this like I link to everything in my videos, and this is definitely worth reading, but I'm gonna cover some of the highlights, especially for those of you that just were never gonna read it anyway. Okay. If you look at the activity for sales, because Ripple, they're the most transparent company in crypto. They just are. And I wish that more companies supporting blockchain projects, companies that founded coins, I wish that they were more transparent about their holdings and what they're doing in terms of buying and selling activity. And you can see Ripple's total sales here on the screen for Q4 2018, 129.03, and that's in millions. And so it was down from Q3, but what's it matter? Check this out. Check out what's cooler though. Escrow activity. Well, I'll cite this just for the heck of it. It's not what I was going to get to, but in the quarter, 2.4 billion XRP. I'm sorry, 3 billion came out. XRP came out of the escrow. 2.4 billion was ultimately returned because it was unsold. Any XRP that comes out of Ripple's escrow, it is returned at the end of each month. And down here, this I found interesting: volatility and volume of XRP. And basically, what they stated here is that the price volatility was at its lowest since they cited it since Q4 2016. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. XRP's volatility of daily returns was 5%, the lowest quarterly average since Q4 2016. Conversely, we saw the average daily volume for XRP increase substantially. The average daily volume was 595.7 million, the highest quarterly average since Q1 2018. That's very exciting to hear. And do you know why that's happening? Do you know why that matters? Well, I'm going to tell you. New exchanges. There are so many more exchanges now trading XRP. They cited here 30 new exchanges added XRP in the fourth quarter of 2018. So there are now over 100 exchanges worldwide that list XRP. And that's fantastic because you know what this sets the table for, right? These exchanges that are allowing trades, buys and sells of XRP on their platforms, they'll be able in the future to implement XRapid, which, of course, as you guys know, you're XRP fans, I don't have to preach to you too much, do I? That's what's going to allow these cross-border transactions utilizing XRP with near-instant settlement. And so, again, we're just seeing the foundation laid here. And if you're an exchange, like I've said a number of times recently, there's no reason that you would not at some point want to implement XRapid, because all that's going to do is get you more volume. And how do you make your money? More volume, buying, more selling. That's how you get it. You don't even have to care about the price necessarily. You just want the volume. You want the activity. And so that's really cool. And then they decided down here, there's this little section they titled just XRapid. Aptly named, I'd say. In early October, Ripple's product XRapid, which uses XRP for on-demand liquidity, became commercially available. MercuryFX, Qualix, and Catalyst Corporate Federal Credit Union were the first to sign on. Catalyst Corporate Federal Credit Union, a wholesale cooperative financial institution that serves more than 1,400 member and client credit unions throughout the United States, will use XRapid on behalf of their members to create a new cross-border service. That's badass. That's real-world adoption. Those are businesses that are actually going to use XRP for on-tap liquidity. That's exactly what we've been waiting for. It's just the coolest thing. And then they had another fun section. I love this because you get a lot of the Bitcoin maximalists out there that'll be like, oh, XRP, scam coin, banker coin, it's going to be replaced by stable coins. And all the time, I found out, seriously, I learned about a year ago. It didn't take me but a couple months to figure out exactly why. Once I entered the space, and I entered November 2017, so I'm newer, but it only took me, whether it was a month or two, whatever it was, to figure out why stable coins can never be a solution. Why bank coins additionally have the same shortcomings as stable coins as potential options for the train wreck that is cross-border payments globally right now. And the reason is, as it turns out, specifically as it pertains to cross-border transactions, decentralization actually really matters. Without decentralization, if you've got a coin, whether it's a bank-created coin or it's a stable coin backed by fiat, they're liabilities. They've got the same shortcomings because they require trust. If you're it's the same reason that Nostro accounts exist right now, with the pre-funded accounts so that cross-border payment transactions can occur in the first place. And so, if there's a stable coin out there or a bank coin, in my mind, they're essentially, since like I said, they got the same problem. It's backed by something. Let's say it's a bank coin. Okay, pick your currency. Well, if it's bank coin, let's say it's backed by the Mexican peso, because that's the first thing that came to my mind. Well, if you're transacting with the euro, for example, and a bank's got that, like how do you trust it? How do you trust that the money is there? The bank's saying it's there, because what is happening? Here's the key. Here's the best I could articulate this. It's because the bank is articulating, or they're assigning value that isn't really there. That's the key difference. Whereas with XRP, it has value because people in a true open marketplace say it has whatever the dollar value is in the given moment. If it's a bank-backed coin, if it's a stable coin, same problems, whether it's, again, stable coin, bank coin, it has a value that's backed by something else. So it is the bank saying it is worth this. They're just making it up. Quite literally making up the value. Again, XRP, it's literally trading back and forth. You and me, as buyers and sellers on exchanges, if we're willing to buy or we're willing to sell, we're saying, yes, we believe that the XRP is worth that. We agree, and we're doing the transaction because that's the current market rate. That is the fundamental key difference. It's the decentralization. And I think a lot of people out there don't understand it, but that's why this is so fundamentally important. And so then when you have that in conjunction with the speed of XRP, the low cost of energy to conduct these transactions, and they're just so quick. And they're on top of that, do you guys know why there are fees with XRP at all? And they're minimal. They're absolutely minuscule. But in terms of XRP actually transacting, a minimal amount of that is burnt. Do you know why? It's to prevent DDoS attacks, denial of service attacks. So if you wanted to, think about this. Okay, so transactionally, the creators of the XRP ledger could have created it in such a way that no XRP was burnt. It's a feature, not a bug. The fact that a tiny bit of it is burnt. So if you want to substantially slow down the system, it would cost you a ton of money in burnt XRP, and then what would you get for it? Nothing. You eventually run out of your funds, and then the system goes back to how it was. And so far, nobody's successfully even slowed down the system. So if you want to try, you're going to burn a whole lot of your own money if you want to do it. And again, that doesn't allow you to control the system. You're not even going to halt it. So anyway, I just think it's fascinating. So those are some of the reasons that you need a decentralized cryptocurrency in order to truly open up global transactions, monetary transactions across borders. And especially if you want to convert from one fiat to another, you got to have that. So stable coins won't work, and bank coins will not work. And so those were the biggest points from this report that I took away from it. It just got me thinking, wow, amazing developments. They're on the right track. I like seeing real-world implementation of Ripple's technology also, so that's incredible. Next topic here. This is a fun one. I watched this video last night after I posted my own YouTube video, and I'm going to link to this one. This is from, who is this? I think the actual YouTube channel is Consensus Media, but there's a panel out there, and I can't remember if it was recorded literally yesterday, or it's very recent regardless. You could look into the date if you're curious about it. But I found this interesting because one of the panel members, Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple, another one was, his name was Joe. He's a co-founder of Ethereum. And I'm just going to point out one thing, and if you guys are like me, you just love watching various content when you're like driving or have stuff on the background, it's worth a listen it's an hour long. But this point was the funniest thing to me. Basically, at one point, Joe, the co-founder of Ethereum, he's like trying to slam Brad. He's like, so don't you guys sell a whole bunch of Ethereum? And then Brad said something to the effect of, well, yes, and we're very transparent about that. And then he turns to Joe and he says, how much are you selling? And then he's like, oh, he didn't know how to respond to that. And then Brad goes back and he, look, it's important for the maturity of our entire asset class, the industry, however we worded it, to be very transparent. And so it's so funny to me that the co-founder of Ethereum wanted to pose that question. He thought he was going to slam down Brad, and then he never thought, well, wait a minute, if somebody asked me that, how could I answer it? I absolutely love that. It's just absolutely priceless. So again, I'm going to link to that. You guys should watch it if you have any extra free time. I encourage you. Now, this next piece, this is more fun, but look, this is worth knowing. I'm going to explain something to you guys here. Okay, so here's the title from CoinDesk, which probably more aptly called FUD Desk, I would say. The title for this piece, XRP market cap may be overstated by billions, Messari reports estimates. And I'll read the explanation of their quick explanation. It's just one of the paragraphs, and then I'm going to get into why this is complete nonsense. As depicted on data providers like CoinMarketCap as well as Ripple, the distributed ledger tech company closely linked to the digital asset, XRP circulating supply is pegged at roughly 41 billion tokens, but in its report, Messari posits that of the figure, 19.2 billion XRP may be illiquid or subject to significant selling restrictions. Tied to daily trading volume, including at least 6.7 billion XRP held by Ripple co-founder Jed McCaleb, that are subject to an agreement between him and Ripple. Okay, and then it goes on. I'm not going to bore you with the rest of this. You guys can read it if you want. Here's Ripple's response, and then I'm going to get into just the specifics of why Ripple is right on this. But here's Ripple's response. They sent this back to CoinDesk. Not only does this report contain several inaccurate assumptions around lockups and selling restrictions, the entire report is based on an incorrect calculation of market cap. While decentralized digital assets like XRP are different from traditional equities, the term market cap is always a very simple calculation. Current price, X, times a total number of the asset equals market capitalization. So current price times total number of the asset is the market capitalization. That puts XRP's current market cap at approximately 31 billion. We believe that any other calculation of market capitalization for XRP is not a clear representation of the truth. Amen, brothers and sisters. I've been saying this for the longest time. And let me visually show you why. If you're looking at a screen, if you're driving or something, then just try to visualize this in your head, I guess. Eyes on the road. So I went here now. I went to livecoinwatch.com, which I prefer over CoinMarketCap, but I like the Forbes site more. I'm going to get to that in just a second here. So right here you'll see there's the column for total cap and there's a column for max supply. These two columns by default do not show up on livecoinwatch.com. I had to add these myself. How did I do that? If you click on layout, which I'm clicking on now, you can see here are the options, so you can have other data shown in various columns and you can move and arrange it. Functionally, it works quite well, but it's not there by default, unfortunately, so I wanted to make you guys aware of that. Now check this out. Market cap, again, total supply times the current market rate. That's all it is, right? Well, okay, so that would be basically, so what they did, so look here, 31 billion is they're calling this total cap. 31.9 billion, they're calling that the total cap. That's wrong. They're making up this term total cap. Total cap is something that is actually used in the business worlds, but it's basically the difference, without getting into too much detail, between total assets and liabilities. It's used in a different way. So they're basically hijacking that term for a completely different purpose, but they're also hijacking the term market cap for a completely different purpose. I don't know why this started, but in the crypto industry, this is what they started doing. It might have been Coin Market Cap that started it. I'm not completely sure on that, but I am going to explain to you why it's completely wrong. Basically, the calculation that they're coming up with for total cap is actually what market cap is. They're taking the total supply times the market rate, and they're calling that total cap. That has never been what it is. If you look at stocks, what's a market cap for a particular stock? You would take the market rate, the last selling price, times the total quantity, period. That is it. And that's what market cap would be. So they're calling this the wrong thing, and they're muddying the waters. That's why people are so confused about this. It's complete garbage. And what they're calling market cap, it's actually what they're doing is they're taking what they're calling market cap on Live Coin Watch and on Coin Market Cap. Like I said, it's not it. What it basically is they're trying to say, okay, but what's sellable? And so then they get into this little column here called circulating supply, and that's 41 billion for XRP they're claiming, and I don't even know that that's correct, because basically all they're doing for this calculation, the best I've been able to tell, is they're taking out the XRP that Ripple has locked up in escrow. I don't think they're taking out anyone else's, and that's what this is. However, note, this is worth noting, before Ripple put that XRP in escrow, they still had this figure, and it was a few billion less for whatever reason. I remember it a year ago. But they didn't just note that, okay, Ripple put their XRP in escrow, and now we're going to reduce that by 55 billion. No. They never accounted for it because Ripple owned it. That's a key point also. So what they're doing to get to market cap is they're taking what they're calling, and they're just making the stuff up on the fly. They're deciding what counts as circulating. They're counting the escrowed XRP that Ripple owns as not being a part of that. So again, it's just Ripple's holdings, or total supply minus Ripple's holdings is the circulating supply, and then they're multiplying that times the current market rate and saying the market cap is only 13 billion instead of 31 billion. Well, if you want to have a new term for something that's circulating supply times the current market rate, fine, but call it something else, because it sure as hell isn't market cap. That's a bunch of nonsense. That's garbage. And so it's this asset class that started to do it. And there is, like, look at how stocks do it. Like I said, current stock price times current supply. I mean, are they taking into account anything else? Escrowed stocks, or like, what is that? Of course not. This whole thing it couldn't be more silly. And that's why I like Forbes crypto markets, because look at this. They have the correct market cap here. This is not rocket science, guys. It's total supply times the current market rate. And they have it listed, the market cap, as 31.59 billion. That's why Forbes is my favorite for crypto listings in terms of market capitalization, because it's accurate, And who are you going to trust more? Because I don't know who the people behind CoinMarketCap and Live Coin Watch are, but they're probably people, since they've been around for years. I wouldn't be surprised if they're coming from a certain ideological bent that, that's why they're in the space early on, and they're portraying things in a particular way, especially as it pertains to XRP. They're not doing this with other coins, mind you. But then you got Forbes, which at least is reputable, and it's a known company. And what do you know? They happen to be going by the historically used market capitalization calculation. What are you going to go with? I know what I'm going with. And then there's Coin Market Cap here I just pulled up, and I don't know. I haven't really messed around with them as much ever since they did the whole thing where they turned off the South Korean markets. If you guys don't know about that, maybe we'll cover it in a different video. But about a year ago, they took the valuation out of in terms of market cap. They turned off every exchange that had a volume in South Korea, which made XRP's value just plummet overnight, and it freaked people out, and it was the whole thing. But, I don't know for sure if you can add or delete columns in CoinMarketCap, but I don't really use them. This is probably one of the only videos you're ever going to see me even pull up their site, and I just did it for the sake of comparison. So you can see Live Coin Watch, you can see Forbes Crypto Markets, and CoinMarketCap, because at this point, CoinMarketCap.com, they're the most popular, but let's change that. Go to Forbes. They're calculating stuff right. That's my opinion. So I think that's everything I wanted to cover today. Am I forgetting anything? No, I guess that's it. That's pretty much it. All right. Well, I'll wrap up this video again right now, but I want to say thank you so much for listening. Please note, I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say, do, or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Thanks for listening.